This letter starts off with Walter Fox addressing his dear wife Bess, who he hasn't heard from in a while. Here's a portrait of Walter Fox that was taken in 1917 when called to active duty during World War I. Walter writes this letter on November 3, 1918, when the armistice between the Allies and Germany was going on. This was the agreement that ended the fighting in Western Europe that comprised the First World War. Here, Walter is telling his wife to sell the land and any other affairs that needs to be completed. Walter uses sarcasm to hide his anger when he says, "It's certainly funny that you have not received any of my letters I've been sending for the last 2 months." Walter deeply loves his wife, but he still feels a little angry toward his wife. The mood changes from Walter feeling a little sad to complete happiness when talking about the war being called off in a few days, even though not knowing when exactly he will come home to her. Here's a picture of the war front eagerly waiting for the war to finally come to an end. Here, Walter feels homesick and wants to be with his wife in Wacoma, Iowa. He thinks he won't be at home for at least 6 months, making him miss home even more. From missing his hometown, Walter talks about the weather and how sticky it gets when it rains. The mood completely changes from a sense of sadness to a more informative mood of what's going on in Walter's current status. Walter talks about how the leaves are falling off the trees, which indicates that fall is approaching him. The fall season makes Walter feel homesick again because of his love for hunting. When it talks about Walter going hunting with his wife when he returns home, it shows how much affection he feels toward his wife. Their love is still strong as ever. Walter changes the topic to politics. He tells his wife who the next president might be based off his friends' debates. This part of the letter shows what interests Walter has when he's away from home. It makes the letter sound more appealing when talking about more of his life away from home. Here's a picture of how high the rate of casualties has gone up in hospitals. It stresses the idea of how long the war has been going on and how this end to the war will be a good cause for the soldiers. Walter is closing his letter, but is feeling happy for his wife. The mood changes from the beginning of the letter of when Walter was feeling sad to now when Walter is being happy for his wife. He ends the letter on a good notice, giving his wife all the love he has to offer.